It is Thursday, January the 5th, just another night of opportunity in the NBA. We only hit one of our 3 bets on Tuesday, so we hope to make up for it tonight. 3 more games I have my eye on, and I do have a good feeling about them. Let's start in Detroit, where the Pistons host the Charlotte Hornets. Detroit, a 3.5-point favorite at BetSafe, 205.5 the total here. Now the Pistons have been struggling lately, just 5-11 in their last 16 games. They've been having trouble on the defensive end, which is odd for them because that's normally their bread and butter. In their last 16 games, of which they've only won 5, they've allowed 9 opponents to shoot 47% or better from the floor. In a loss to Indiana on Tuesday night, they surrendered 121 points on 58% shooting. So you know there has been plenty for head coach Dan Van Gundy to get mad about lately. I'm sure Pistons practices have not been fun places to be over the past couple of weeks. But we know in the big picture, they're still a good defensive team, 4th in the NBA in points allowed. A lot of good individual defensive players. They've got an absolute monster in the paint in Andre Drummond, who protects the rim as well as anybody in the NBA. And tonight they're facing a team in Charlotte who they know how to defend. These teams have already met twice this season. They did split those games, but the Hornets failed to reach 90 points in either game. Now they did beat the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, but that game was last night. So the second night of a back-to-back for Charlotte. They have not been great in those situations this year, just 3-4 playing the second night of a back-to-back. And prior to beating the Thunder, they had lost 2 straight games, and they've had problems of their own on the defensive end lately, surrendering 117 points per game over their last 3 contests. I just feel like this is a tough spot for Charlotte here. Second night of a back-to-back against a motivated Detroit team. The Hornets have not been great on the road this season, losing record on the road. As we mentioned, they have not been great playing the second night of a back-to-back. I think the Pistons in a little bit of a backs-to-the-wall situation in this one, and I think they win the game and cover the 3.5-point number. I'm on Detroit there. Moving on now to Toronto, where the Raptors host the Utah Jazz. Toronto, a 5.5-point favorite at BetSafe, 201.5 the total here. Now the Jazz lost to the Boston Celtics on Tuesday night. Unfortunately for us, we were on them +6, and they ended up losing by 9. But prior to that, they had won 4 straight games, and they are getting healthier. We thought George Hill, their starting point guard, was going to play on Tuesday, but he missed that game, the second straight game he's missed with a concussion. However, he is expected to be in the lineup tonight. He's an important part on both sides of the floor for the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz is getting healthier beyond George Hill. Alec Burks, their 2-guard, has come back now. He played a little bit against Brooklyn a couple of games ago. Did not play against Boston on Tuesday, but we expect him to see the floor tonight. And Dante Exum could be back as well. Now you look at the Toronto Raptors, they've been struggling. They've lost 3 of their past 4 games. And unlike the Jazz, the Raptors not getting healthier. As a matter of fact, they're a little bit banged up right now. Patrick Patterson, who is a key cog for them, he's missed the last 2 games with a knee injury, expected to sit tonight as well. The Raptors have been having some trouble scoring. In their last 5 games, they've only reached 100 points twice, and those games came against the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers might be the worst defensive team in the entire NBA, and the Warriors surrender 100 points or more frequently, just based on the pace that they play with. So it's been a struggle on the offensive end for Toronto lately, and that is not good news when you're facing a team like Utah. The Jazz, the very best defensive team in the NBA, 1st in the league in points allowed, 2nd in opponents' field goal percentage. I know we bet on Utah the other night and they let us down, but I'll tell you what, a 5.5-point underdog here against a Toronto team that hasn't been playing its best basketball over the past couple of weeks. I like the Jazz in this one to keep it close and possibly pull out a win, but I do like the sound of those 5.5 points. I think they could come in handy here. Utah, my recommendation. Final game I'm involved in on this Thursday, January the 5th. What about the Dallas Mavericks at home against the Phoenix Suns? Dallas, a 6-point favorite at BetSafe, 205.5 the total here. Now these 2 of the worst teams in the Western Conference, Phoenix at 11-25, Dallas at 11-24, but they're both coming off victories on Tuesday night. And you look at the Mavs, I mean, they're starting to play some good basketball. They are 5-4 in their last 9 games, 7-3 against the number in that stretch, so they've been a good team to back lately. Dirk Nowitzki back in the fold now. Veteran Devin Harris been giving them some good minutes. Harrison Barnes playing the best basketball of his career. Like I said, the Mavs starting to put it together. They've been playing good defense all season. 5th in the NBA in points allowed. But now that Nowitzki's back and Harrison Barnes beginning to find himself a little bit as the team's number 1 option, the Mavs starting to look pretty good on both ends of the floor. You look at the Phoenix Suns, they have been really bad on the road this season, just 4-16 away from home. They have lost 6 straight road games. The Suns, among the very worst defensive teams in the NBA, 29th in the league in points allowed, 25th in opponents' field goal percentage. I know these teams have similar records, but I do believe Dallas has turned a little bit of a corner, and I think they're just a better team than the Phoenix Suns right now. I think they win tonight comfortably. Dallas -6, my recommendation there. There you have it, folks. Those are my thoughts for tonight, Thursday, January the 5th. I'm on the Detroit Pistons, -3.5 at home against the Charlotte Hornets. I like Utah +5.5 in Toronto, and I like the Dallas Mavericks to cover 6 at home against the Phoenix Suns. Folks, I wish you best of luck no matter what you decide to do tonight, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests. Enjoy the games.